Hello and welcome, everyone. Hope you're doing well. My name is Jeffrey, and I will be your host for today. Let me know in the comments if you can actually hear me. That would be a great help before we start. Nice, nice. Okay, so gonna start off with Bitcoin. After which we will do a couple of requests and take it easy today. I mainly want to do alts today. Gonna go over silver as well. Maybe some other traditional market positions that might be interesting if you guys want it so. Seems like I have a little bit of a delay, but that should be fine. Okay, gonna start off with Bitcoin. Currently, not much has changed since my latest stream. We're actually still at the exact same level. I've been a few uneventful days, sadly. Not much trading has to be done these days, but what can you do about it, right? All we can do right now is wait. My position is still as follows. Ever since we made this giant move down, we haven't really had a retest. And as I said in my latest stream, I'm actually still aiming for the $5,000 mark, 5,100, depending on which exchange you're currently looking at. Due to a accumulation pattern here, it's a classical charting pattern, which I showed you in my latest live stream if you have any interest about it. Excuse me. So what should happen right now is we could potentially hang around this level for a couple more days, after which I really do expect to see a breakout. We've got this sloping resistance line going on, which hasn't been broken yet, and that is obviously the first real target that we're going to have to take out before we can move any further. The second option that I have in mind, which I would, you know, not like to see, but which could happen regardless, is that if we break 3,300 and take out this support over here, there's not much stopping Bitcoin from going to 2,500 USD. Would be, bad scenario considering the fact that we haven't really had any kind of proper bounce or bullish week even ever since this dump started in November. But then again, what can we do about it? Really want to start covering ETH first, and then if you have any requests for alts, feel free to shoot them in the chat box, and I will try my best to cover them. Gonna start off with ETH paired against Bitcoin, obviously, as always. I recently posted this position in my Discord, and up until then, not much has actually happened. We've also been around the same level, just like Bitcoin has for the past, well, 2 weeks even. And it's becoming quite boring right now. We've obviously got our support hanging around at. Gotta have this precise. We're doing this on the daily, hanging around at 0.0286 BTC. If that gets taken out, I have little hopes of holding the bottom over here, but you know, who knows. As for now, I've entered along here with my entry sitting at 0.033 BTC. Target is all the way up at 0.063, and the reason I'm betting on this is because I do expect a bullish run for Bitcoin, obviously, and the only way that this position is actually going to play out is if Bitcoin goes on a run for a couple days or maybe even a couple weeks. Nothing can be certain, but that's where my money is at now. Honestly, I haven't really been day trading lately due to the fact that, you know, these days are extremely uneventful and there isn't really much to be day traded. So I'll just stick to the daily time frame for now, unless you guys actually do have the requests, and we will see from there. Now over to something very interesting. I've shown you this in the Discord as well, talking about Neo. Neo actually managed to break out of the trend line that has been set ever since 26th of February in 2018 to 6th of January 2019. So this entire trend line here that has been set hasn't been broken for almost exactly a year, and that makes it hopefully very powerful. To be exact, it's been 324 days ever since Neo actually managed to break out. And the good thing we see here is that once it broke out, I'm just going to zoom in for a second here, is that Neo managed to break out. It was a tiny breakout, it just managed to set about 17% in 5 days, after which it started moving down again. But here's why I'm so very excited about Neo. It actually managed to turn this trend line into a support. It got retested, as I usually call it, after which it managed to hold its ground. So what I'm currently looking for, and for this we actually do have to zoom out a bit, is I am looking to go towards the first Fibonacci, the 236, currently situated at 0.0028 BTC. And if this plays out, it should get us a pretty nice return of 38%. I wouldn't actually recommend margin trading any odds, to be honest. But 38% is not bad. I took a position, and here's where my money is at right now. The other scenario that I potentially see happening is if we break this support right here, which has been set for the first time at the 22nd of June 2017, which is almost 2 years ago. It's going quite fast these years. And now we managed to, bounce off that level. So what I do fear is that if this position doesn't play out and we break this support, which is at 0.00174, we are in for quite a ride due to the fact that this entire zone has no support or resistance or whatsoever. Went straight up, didn't build any kind of ground, no solidity. So if this breaks, then I am getting the hell out of this position, obviously. Just once again, can you guys hear me? Should all be okay? But just to be sure, I asked before, and so far nobody responded. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, this looks quite promising, especially due to the fact that we have been building this trend line for a year, and now we finally managed to break out. And I don't really fear any more downside here as long as this support stays intact. This one is vital. If this breaks, it's doomsday scenario for Neo. Nobody would like that. Everything would, get wrecked. Um, so yeah, that's my position right now. Once we get to our targets, I'm actually planning to offload like 66% and keep a third, because this has been quite a ride, and this would be hopefully the first real bounce. Next in line, I really want to go over EOS, and I'm doing this at a pace today because there's so much to go over. I'm gonna chart EOS in USD because this is actually tradable properly in USD, and recently I have been changing from trading against BTC to USD just because it's easier to keep track of my portfolio and all that. And it really saves a lot of time because usually when I was trading against Bitcoin, I also had to, calculate what the actual amount of profit in USD was or loss if I had a bad day. For EOS, I'm still hanging on to the same position here. Ever since we broke this support that we started to set, right at the launch in July 2017, and we broke down, we haven't retested it yet. So what I expect, and right now we are gonna go into Elliott waves. Let me just grab the ABC correctional wave. I expect that we're gonna set an ABC wave just to retest this support, after which it is very likely that we will start moving down again. Obviously, there's no certainty here, but due to the fact that we actually did went into this accumulation range, for quite a bit here. I expect there could be some potential upside here. Keep in mind, all these positions will only play out if Bitcoin is nice. If Bitcoin decides to shit all over the market, obviously nothing of this is going to play out. And that's why risk management is so very important. Once again, usually I just trade about 1% of my portfolio per position. And that's what actually keeps you safe. The term wrecked didn't really exist in traditional markets, VCs. It just comes from the fact where somebody 100x's his or her entire stack and then actually does get wrecked. So keep it safe, especially since we are going through a massive bear market still. And so that's the reason why I am clinging to the 1% rule. Once again, if you have requests, please put it in the chat box. Today I kind of plan to do some Q&A, some chatting, some requests. So feel free to share them. While we do that, we're gonna go over silver real quick, and we're gonna do so on the daily. And this is quite a time frame, guys, we're trading here. But I am very interested in this because currently, as you might have noticed, the global economy isn't doing all too well. In fact, I fear that there could potentially be another recession in a not too distant future. And so I'm currently hedging into some metals, especially silver has got my attention. Mainly due to the fact that the fundamentals are great. The amount of silver we currently use is far greater than the amount of silver that is being pulled out of the ground. So in the end, there's going to be a shortage, and I really do hope to own a substantial amount of silver when that happens. For now, and I'm just gonna take off the log scale here. It would work a little bit better. For now, the first thing we have to do here is take out this trend line. And for this, we're going to go to the daily. I just gave you a quick overview here. And this trend line has been built ever since June 2016. So that makes it almost 3 years. And I feel that for the first time, we have a really good shot at trying to take out this trend line. As you can see, silver already went for it. I feel that there has been a proper double bottom set in here. And in essence, we are creating a descending triangle. And usually, descending triangles, they are bearish signals. So if this breaks down, I am definitely getting the hell out. But that's only for about 66% of the time. There are times where these descending triangles create, a bullish run. And that's really what I'm looking for here. Once again, this is a hedge against the stock markets. I'm really not keen on the stock markets right now. Trying to put in some good shorts. I still have a good position. But then again, they have been defying gravity for quite a while. So that's my play here. I'm trading mostly metals. I'm staying the hell away from oil because I just feel that even though I could do some proper TA on it, if there's any kind of OPEC announcement or something like that, usually it just completely busts the TA and it just does its own thing. Stocks, I'm mostly waiting for some good short positions right now, apart from the SPX, where I already have a good short position. And that is my play. I'm betting on the global downfall of the economy. Um, I really hope there will be some requests. So if you have anything in mind, just throw it into the comments and see if there's anything nice we can get out of it. Of course, the next logical step after silver is gold. Gold is building a beautiful ascending triangle here. So as you can see, and this is just a little bit off, let me get that right. Gold is making this beautiful, beautiful ascending triangle. And in fact, This pretty much, TA wise confirms my thoughts about the economy. If the economy is gonna go to shit, so to say, gold would be the first thing to get off the ground, and especially during and after the recession, it has done very well. And ever since, it just kind of hovered around the same level, which isn't usual for gold. Gold usually doesn't do this. As you can see, ever since 1998, it has been on a gradual, steady climb, and I feel that it might have some ground to cover. So, believe it or not, I also am starting to build a gold position here. And my target, and I'm using a Fibonacci extension for this, will actually be the 786. And the 786 is currently sitting at 2,356 United States dollars. So, in short, that would look something like this, and it would be confirmed, or at least partially confirmed, if we do break out of this ascending triangle right here. Might take a while though. This triangle goes to, close to the end of 2020. So, obviously, lots of patience required, but if you can manage to shoot in some good leverage positions, there is a whole lot of money to be made here. And as Warren Buffett says, markets are a way to transfer money from impatient to patient people. And of course, I've been talking about the markets for a bit, and gold looks like it's preparing for a good run here. And that brings us to the next subject. And in a way, this might of course also influence crypto, because ever since crypto appeared in, almost 10 years ago or over 10 years ago, it has never been through any kind of bear markets for the stocks. And I'm very curious to see how will the crypto market react if we do go into a recession. I'm very, very curious to see that. So currently, this is the weekly candle, obviously. Um, just started this. I'm looking for this support, or this line that used to be support, which is better visible on the daily, to turn into resistance. Today, we are in the process of actually starting to hammer this level. And I'm very curious to see where this goes. If the markets manage to actually recover from this and break this resistance that we've set, this trend line, I would be, first of all, very, very surprised. And second of all, you know, my whole theory goes out of the window. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been building short positions at this level. My stop, obviously, I do have a stop, is sitting right over here at 2,825 for the S&P 500, the SPX. So in a way, looks more like this. This is a 2.6 risk reward ratio, which is pretty good in my opinion. Um, wouldn't be good for the economy, wouldn't be good for our jobs and all that, but that's a different story. First request, Digibyte. Of course, how could it be different? Love Digibyte. No, I kind of do want to stick with my old story here. I do want to stick with the fact that we have broken support, this trend line right over here. And I feel that, we're gonna have to visit these lower level areas between 150 Satoshis and let's say 230. I believe this would be a great accumulation range, especially since Digibyte didn't manage to break out for 2 years here. It had several tries, which made this a very good support resistance level. A lot of coins will exchange hands at this level, and we haven't really visited, these ranges yet. So I just feel like we have to venture in there, which is not really a big problem, you know, unless we break out of this range to the bottom side. After that, the probably gonna crash. I don't think that will likely happen, so my play for Digibyte is just to wait, just be patient, um, scoop up some cheap coins at these ranges, and from there just wait, because sadly most of the alt plays right now, especially alt plays, are gonna have to be long term. The times of making 300% profit in a day are long gone. Hopefully they will return. I believe they will. And just to show you where I'm getting at here, I will show you the following chart. If we go to the logarithmic scale and we draw our pitchfork, and I've been using this pitchfork for quite a while now. I'm just going to draw it on the weekly and then switch over to the daily. There we go. So here's my pitchfork. This is like the most long-term chart that you could possibly make. Anything past or before 2012 is not very reliable. It's very erratic, and I'd rather not have it on my chart. Um, Here's where I'm getting at. I do believe that this support right here, the second support, really will provide some ground for Bitcoin. I'm not saying that we couldn't visit the first support, and maybe eventually we will. But for now, and that's the reason, or well, I would actually say another reason why I'm taking a long on Bitcoin right now. I believe that when we touch this, at least we're gonna get some good upside back to the retest of this broken support at 5,000, 5,500. That being said, a lot of people think that Bitcoin increases in price exponentially, and it really does. And unless you look at the log scale, if you look at the log scale, I do believe that Bitcoin eventually in large lines will look more like this. And it's going to become more stable and more stable and more stable. While it does, though, it's going to be very volatile, probably. We haven't seen the end of the bear market yet. The last end of the bear market, because it's very important to understand that when people look for the bottom, they generally believe that a bottom just looks like this. You've got the top here, then you go down, and then this is the bottom. And if you miss this part, you're screwed. You can't make profit anymore, get a mortgage, the house, stuff like that. But that is not necessarily true. If once again, if we look at the previous bottom of the bear market, it just meant that Bitcoin traded around the same price for 259, well, I should say 294 days. That's when it finally broke out. So, in a way, if I have to draw this, roughly, I don't believe the bottom is gonna look like this. And then if you miss this right, oh, if you miss this right here, you're gonna be screwed and all that. No, that's not what's likely going to happen. If there's going to be a bottom, it's gonna potentially look more like this, just a stable time, and then start to move back up again, just like last time, and just like in any other market, really. That's what usually happens, and that's what I will be looking for if I start my long-term positions, and that's gonna be great, hopefully. Next request, Decred, DCR. Big fan of Decreds. Um, it's a very erratic chart. I'm just going to switch to the daily. Decred really characterizes it by just hovering at the same level lately, especially, and this is quite special, especially since if you compare Decred to any other altcoin, in the mid range, it's quite stable. Most of the other alts, and this sounds very weird, but most of the other alts actually already corrected 90% or more. So in a way, and even though this doesn't look like much, it's the difference between 3x minus or basically 9x minus. So Decred has held up pretty well. Just a 70% drop, and that sounds very extreme to say that it held up pretty well. But if you compare it to most other mid caps, then this is actually good performance. And from here, I would personally say that things are looking quite nice due to the fact that after it launched, this 0.0033 range was the level at which there was accumulation for a long time. This whole period right here spanned over 400 days before it finally managed to break up, after which it set a good bottom. So, personally, I would say this is a good buying range. In fact, anywhere from, and this is just obviously my personal opinion, but anywhere from 0.0033 to 0.022 would be a proper buying range if you can manage to shoot in some orders. Um, I think there should be another dip like this, and once this is completed, of course, also Decred will have dropped more than 80% because that characterizes a bubble. There has to be an 80% drop after a bubble pop, and that rhymes, so it's true. Um, well, for Lux, you know, some nice things are coming. I will not say no more, but some nice things are coming, and you have to understand that the problem that Lux currently faces is that it is on a huge exchange named Coinbene, and the problem right there is that Coinbene is an exchange that operates in the Asian markets. And Lux, up until now, hasn't really produced any Chinese, Korean, or any Asian content. So the volume potential here, the top coins are doing like 6 million in volume, um, is good, and sadly, the volume on Lux, and let's see if I can find it somewhere, is not too good. This will be changed once they are going to, once we are going to produce some content for the Asian regions, hopefully, this will be improved. And obviously, for us Europeans and Americans, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to exchange it now. But the potential is there. And especially when Luxgate launches, this decentralized exchange, we don't need any more exchange to operate on. So I'm still good. I'm still holding my Lux, no change there. And, you know, I do believe that this is my personal opinion, but I do believe that Cryptopia was not necessarily hacked. And this was because, first of all, the hack took like 24 hours. They were just withdrawing coins for hours and hours and nobody did a thing. Second, the coins were withdrawn from thousands of wallets. So not only did the hackers, so to say, get access to many, many wallets, which is a bit weird. And third, discovered, the withdrawals just continued, and now there is complete radio silence. So that is a bit suspicious to me. I think it's weird. You would figure that an exchange which has actually been around for years, which has never been affected security wise, suddenly, after everything goes to shit, gets hacked and just has its coins withdrawn for hours. So that is my personal thought on it. And that is probably, you know, what happens. People will exit scam in times like this. Just look at Haven. The whole Haven project is probably wrecked as well. Um, yeah, it happens. It happened in the last bear market, and it will happen again. Once these projects, these companies are out of funds, um, that's what happens, and there's nothing we can do about it. I'm not sure if I am able to draw a trend line here. I'm just gonna try. I haven't actually charted Litecoin for a while, but yes, there we go. Okay, for Litecoin, it's at least for me, it's very simple. Um, just going to withdraw this. I was doing another chart right there. I believe we have a very solid trend line here. This trend line has been in play ever since December 2017, has not been broken. While it remains intact, I do not see any reason to buy Litecoin. So this means we have to look at where could it, be broken. What I deem likely and what usually happens is that before a trend line like this gets broken, you can see some kind of divergence. So what would be logical for me is that if we make a lower low here and the RSI makes a higher low, I will be looking into getting a position. This is purely theoretical, of course. There's nothing pointing that direction. Um, in my opinion, this pretty much is the last stop because apart from like $4, this whole zone, this entire area doesn't have any support resistance built. It just went up in a straight line, and there is really nothing there that provides any kind of structure to our chart. So if anything, I hope that there will be some accumulation here. And personally, I will be looking to get some positions in before or just before we break out. That is my personal theory. There really isn't much else to chart here, to be honest. I could take it off the log scale and you would see the exact same thing. Of course, we can remove the trend line, but this pretty much is the last level of accumulation. And if this breaks, then I wouldn't think it too weird if we visit $4, but I highly doubt that. And as far as charts go, in my opinion, this looks perfect due to the fact that if we just Google um, trading bubble, just very simple, and we open the classic bubble chart that you can see everywhere, it is this. And if we compare this with this, and we set our first sell-off and bear trap at these levels, um, basically here, so that would mean between and $70, you can see that we are far below that now, and that would make this despair phase for Litecoin. And I really wouldn't think that too weird, to be honest. Makes total sense, at least for me. So no shame in accumulating Litecoins at this point. Once again, obviously, long term. But that being said, you have to understand that all the bubbles pretty much have popped now, and all the bubbles are close or at despair, and this really is the time to build your portfolio because the power of crypto, people are trying to day trade, make 20% gains and shout, yay, I made 20%, and then lose it all the next day because they made a wrong trade. That's not how you get rich in crypto. How you get rich in crypto is by catching this whole move, which takes like a year to complete. Just be patient. That's how you make money in crypto. And this is the time to start making money. And then during or at the end of the next bull market, that is where you cash in on your smart decisions. and that's how you actually have to get rich trading. You don't get rich by making day trades and making 20%. That's possible, but it's gonna take you at least 30 years to do so. So we have a once in a lifetime opportunity here, and I really do expect one more bull market. And obviously, that's my expectation, but it would make total sense. And that is how you do it. That's how I do it anyway. Next, we've got QNT. Not sure if that's chartable on TradingView. Yeah, quant. Maybe I can pull it up somewhere else. Oh, you got a good eye there, actually. This looks quite promising. You know, this is the time where you are going to go to CoinMarketCap. You're gonna take a beer or a cup of coffee, and you're gonna spend 5 hours every week to go over all the new coins that appear, and you are going to find charts like this because you have to find the gems. I don't have Coinigy at this point, Brandon. I'll get Coinigy after this stream for the next stream. Um, but I forgot to like renew my account, so can't put it up sadly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Coinigy for you, and I will post the chart in Discord, of course, as I usually do. Which reminds me, if you are not in the Discord, if you're not in our trading community, you are very welcome to join. I will post the link in the chat where you can just sign up, have some fun, trade together, and post pictures of cats as well. That's what we do. But yeah, uh, I'm definitely gonna look this up, man. I'm definitely gonna look this up. Looks quite good, you know, considering that it's held up through the entire, or well, most of the bear market. Really surprised to see that. So yeah, I owe you that one. I'll post it in an hour with some proper text, and I'm actually also gonna look at the fundamentals because I have no idea what this thing is. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I will try to do a live stream daily again. I was mostly working on the crypto fund. I can share a thing or two with you guys if you have a second. Might be fun. So yeah, as I've said, I'm setting up a crypto fund which is going to build businesses. On the contrary, most people believe that we will trade shitcoins. Um, that is not our objective. That is not what we are going to do. We are actually going to build businesses. We believe that blockchain has huge potential in a lot of interesting industries. Think about legal, real estate, all kinds of other things. And we will buy ourselves into these startups, help them grow, and hopefully do some successful exits or get wrecked. It's going to be one of those two things. And you know, I gathered all the partners I need. Some are very, very interesting, and I will introduce them soon. Can't do that yet. And it's gonna be great. And I'm gonna try to involve the whole crypto campus into this, you know, so we can all make some money together if there's an interesting offer or something like that. But it is going to be great. And basically, what it's gonna look like is we're gonna have the fund where we invest in businesses and all that. Then we're gonna have our consulting part of it where we will advise and help startups. And then we have the community, which is you guys. And hopefully we will get some good deals on which you guys can participate and everybody happy. So I can't scroll down further because that's where the founding team and our first portfolio is. That is all very, very private. But I'm super excited. I hope we can really help the community with this and we can build something great. I'm gonna go sleep soon because I have a lot of work to do tomorrow. I can check out Lund for you. I can do that without a doubt. And this seems very interesting straight from the start. Oh, you might be onto something here. See, that's why I like to do this. When I'm getting requests, usually a lot of them are interesting, but then you have these gems, and this looks mega super interesting right now. I would say this is the definite accumulation range. The biggest obstacle here is going to be to break the 0.00079 or 79,000 satoshis. Check the weekly and okay, yeah, of course. Let's go to the weekly. Let's check the RSI here. And you are totally right. Well, mm, hold on a second. I'm going to line charts. I'm not sure here. Let me check. Mm, Yeah, you are right. That is a divergence. It's a slight divergence, but it's definitely a divergence. Well spotted. I feel like I'm actually going to take a position in this myself. What would my target be? This is a major, major accumulation range. Probably best if we're gonna pull out our Fibonacci retracements and just retrace this whole thing right here. Makes it simple. My first target would be the first Fib because we are still in the bear market. So I'm just gonna remove everything else except the bottom that we have going on right here. And then we can take our long tool. That's a 2.5 risk to reward. So yeah, I'm going to put this in a Discord. This will be a call and this will probably turn out pretty well. It's been a long time since I've actually seen a chart that was this promising. Sounds good, man. Good spot. There is divergence on the RSI, and this seems to have some proper accumulation at the bottom there. Well done, man. That's great. Good spot right there. So yeah, I'm gonna post this. I hope to see you guys in the Discord, and my next stream will be in 2 days. So have a good night, guys. Make sure to enjoy, and see you later.